Ben, you have a question?
Yeah, what's real about Greenland? It's not
Greenland.
topic, but
Yeah, I mean Greenland was
Greenland?
one of my favorites. I would say my like nature-wise and like whole experience-wise, it's Greenland on the top, like but it shares the spot with South Sudan because South Sudan was always so adventurous. There's always something happening, and Greenland was like just calm, chill. I was not suffering. It was not hot, because I mean in every heat I was like suffering so much, and I mean I'm just way better with cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I could like get out all my equipment, all my gear, all my jacket. I could finally use like my big Arc'teryx jacket. I was like so proud of like I remember we drove with the boat. Like we went to this little town with Tuktoyakt. No, do you have your phone here? So I can check the name of the town. Yeah, so we went there like a fishing town, and which is like crazy. You fly to get there. We flew to Iceland, and from Iceland you fly like over the glaciers. You see the whole time white, and then you land at this little spot of solid ground on the outside, like on the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no roads going in or out. You can only come by plane or by ship, by boat to the town. We have maps on here. Ah, I found it. It's Ilulissat. So, I can if you unlock it, you found it. So we went to Ilulissat for the first to have our base camp. It's like mostly like it's like a little touristic fishing village.
It's touristic?
I mean, they have like some hotels there, a few hotels. They even have I think a Hilton, but we didn't go to the Hilton. We went to like to the local people. And I mean the cruises, like the Arctic cruises, stop there. So I mean that's why they have like tourism there, but a lot of fishing and things. And from there we paid some people to take us with the boat to the glaciers, to the Egli glacier.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean I remember we took the boat, and you drive like it's like 4 degrees, and you drive like through the icebergs. It's crazy cold outside. I remember I was the whole time outside in front of the boat, like I was like the whole time in front of the boat and like just testing out my jacket, like tightening everything up. I had all my glasses looking out. I was like fighting, like the waves were splashing on me and everything, but I was like I was so proud that I could fight the elements.
Yeah.
I mean, against heat you can't do anything. Heat is just always there. You can't escape it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, cold you can do something about it, or like rain and stuff like that. So I liked that more. And
Look at this little hat. So
it
cute.
used to be way too big for him, like when we first came from the hospital. Yeah, so we took this boat, and we paid like the boat driver to bring us to the glacier. They told us, yeah, I mean, there's normally like a camp there where like for tourists to visit the glacier, but the season is already over. It's getting too cold there. But Marcus said like, no, we have to stay there overnight. We have to get the sunrise and sunset, because it was like a 6-7 hour drive by boat, and at night you can't drive the boat because you could hit an iceberg. Titanic problem. So we like the rest of our team, we were like 4 people on the team. They said like, no, it's too extreme for us, we won't stay. But I myself, like I was like hyped to use my gear. I had like a sleeping bag until minus 18 degrees, a new tent, like a super light, tiny tent, like all my sleep equipment, sleep gear. So I was like, of course I stay there. And we arrived and it was beautiful day. We carried up the stuff, the hill, and you have to know, like everywhere there's not ice on Greenland, where we like at least on the west coast, is like this kind of like it's like spongy kind of plants, and in autumn they all get like this Indian summer colors, like you get like all these orange and dark greens, and everything was like beautiful. And we of course we set our camp up like on a nice spot with like a nice view of the glacier, and put our tents up. And I mean, the tent stakes wouldn't really stick in this kind of like spongy material. I mean, that's like in German it's called Flechten. It's like ground creeping plants. Like they don't really grow up; they just go out and they like create like a sponge more or less. And so like the tent stakes wouldn't really hold. So I picked up like rocks and everything. I really assembled my tent like a fortress, because I mean my tent was like, it had like lines going down. So it was like 2 pillars out of like hiking sticks, so the really sturdy sticks, and then all the rest was like a teepee set up like this. And I put like big chunky rocks on it. And so we ate, went to bed, and then during the night the wind started to pick up. And what we didn't think about, that our tent was on this very exposed spot. I mean, it was a beautiful spot because we had the view of the glacier lake and the valley, everything. But it was where we had like this little canyon, and we put like, when there was like on the bottom, at the top was everything hard rock, and the bottom was this spongy material. So that's where we put in the soft area our tent. And this kind of little valley was like a funnel for all the wind going in. So it was like middle of the night. I was sleeping. I remember I was like dreaming some kind of weird dream, where like I had to like run like Indiana Jones, and I heard like the thumping noise, like boom, 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 and I had to like, it was like a temple run, like in my head, and the dream was like I had to run from something, and then in the dream I like something was like whacking me on my ass, like, and I was like sleeping and everything, and I know like. I was like, why is it whacking on my ass? I was still half in the dream, and I wake up, everything is pitch black. I go back into the dream, still is like whacking me, and then I realized like it was still there while I was awake, that whacking. And then I wake up, everything is pitch black, and I have no idea where I am. It's like noise like crazy. I'm like, and you hear like poof, poof, poof. And then I realized that one of the tent poles, my hiking stick, was still attached to the tent, but the whole bottom part where my feet was of the tent was like flying in the air, was like flapping around, and the tent stick, or like the hiking stick, was like slapping me on my ass in the sleeping bag, creating like an enormous noise, like in the down sleeping bag, like a drum, and like clapping me, and like I was, and before I read somewhere that like you should not sleep in your clothes when like cold environments, like because you can sweat and you make all your clothes wet, and as soon as your clothes are wet, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah.
So I put all my clothes on the bottom of my sleeping bag, and I was lying in underwear in the sleeping bag, and my whole tent was like half, like I could on the bottom, or whenever the wind was picking up the bottom of the tent, I could see the ocean and the glacier like in the moonlight. And like I heard like the tearing of the tent, like, and just the top part was still standing where I put more rocks. And then okay, I had to get out. I mean, because like the tent was like, otherwise it was ripped in pieces, and I still had my camera back at the bottom. So I got out, and it was minus 11 degrees, and I get out of the tent, and it's like ice rain, like ice droplets vertically flying like in my head torch. They're like flying vertically like this, yeah, horizontally, flying like past my vision. You could see like half a meter. Then like there was too much ice in the air, like flying.
And you were in your underwear.
Me in my underwear, barefoot. I go out, and like I see like my whole tent, the bottom part of my tent is like completely, there's like a big hole in the tent. And I just moved my camera back to the one piece of the tent was still standing, the one hiking pole which was like still standing strong. And I started like gathering all the rocks like which I could find around the camp spot, like big like this, like boulders, and like throwing them onto the tent, which was a mistake because before I put the rock only on the rope, but even the rocks were so rough and coarse that the wind moving tore the rope, like scratched, like made the rope like thin, and like then it ripped at some point. That's why the bottom part of my tent was like flying around. And then I just thought like, okay, I have to keep the bottom down so I'm not getting wet in my sleeping bag, and my clothes in the bottom of my sleeping bag not getting wet. So I started piling up the rocks like on the tent. So like it was just like in case my sleeping bag, and like just keep everything down, which then tore like the whole tent in pieces, like the tent fabric just ripped. So I did like everything. I took my peli case, a waterproof case, luckily out, put it on top of my sleeping bag so it would hold like a bigger space down. And in the end, I went back into the tent, and I had like this little cone, like it was my backpack here, and the backpack was like, the wind was pressing down the tent so much that only the backpack was still holding up, and I had like this much space in front of my face, and then it would go down, and the peli case was lying on the outside of the tent on top of me. That was my sleep setup for that night.
How long did you have to go still?
I think it was like 2 a.m. or something like that.
And the wind kept blowing.
Yeah, the wind kept blowing, but at least it was warm. I mean, it's surprisingly like how fast, even I wiped myself dry before I went in the sleeping bag. I mean, it was still ice rain coming, but then I went as fast as possible in the sleeping bag, and I warmed up pretty quickly. It was surprised. Only my toes were like very,
of course,
cold.
Mine now as well. Like mine
yours were not. And yeah, it was a crazy night, and my tent was like $700 tent, completely fucked, completely ripped to pieces. And Marcus had I think €28 Amazon tent, which was like a self-standing tent, you know, like a typical tent where you bow like the poles like this.
Yeah.
He slept through. He didn't even leave his tent. The tent was like just getting bent on him, like squeezed like crazy on top of him, but it didn't tear, nothing. He didn't need it. Like, through it. He just slept through it. He just stayed in his tent. €28 Amazon tent.
Good.
And my like Durston survival outdoor whatever tent completely destroyed. And then I got up the next morning. The wind was still blowing. Then I recorded a video how my tent sadly was like flapping in the wind still. And I walked around, and I saw we had our food in like big plastic bags, which we like to carry it, like really big plastic bags. And I saw that some foxes were like I just saw a fox with a piece of toast running away in his mouth, and it just tore the whole bags apart. And almost all the food was gone. So the only thing, the only thing we had left like was I think tomato soup or tomato sauce and some packs of pasta, but all the bread, all the other things we got was
the carbs gone.
Yeah, were gone. Like they even ate the Philadelphia we had.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, there was. I mean, we still stayed there for like 3-4 days.
How? You didn't have a tent anymore.
I moved my tent. I moved my camp spot to another place, and but I had duct tape, so I taped the whole tent. And I chose for my next camp spot. I chose a spot where I couldn't see the glacier, but I was like enclosed by like a bigger rock, which had like an overhang. So that was mostly my tent.
No wind.
No, there was no wind at all.
Okay.
Everything was fine. I was even covered from the rain if
That's
it would
good.
rain. So, and I even had like a little area where I could set up my cooking pot and everything. So I cooked then.
Just a camping spot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Set up everything. I even had like a little office with me. So we have like my little office, like because the whole pally case was designed like to open up and then have like power bank, office, hard drives, like a laptop there. So I have a photo there where I'm sitting like in the middle of Greenland, nowhere, and yeah. Then we from there on we did like some trips. We hiked up the mountainside next to the glacier and like shot the glacier from above, which was also crazy dangerous to go alone. Like one time it started raining because it was like all like rock slab, which you like flat, smooth rock, which you had to go hike up. But like in between some gravel parts, but on top there was not even any plants or anything. So it was everything either loose gravel or smooth rock. And then it started to rain. First on the way up it started to rain, so the whole rock got super slippery. I had one situation where where I slipped and I slided on my belly like 20 meters, like 40, 50 meters towards the cliff which goes down into the glacier. I mean, the glacier is like cracked open ice. If you fall in there, you'll like never get out of it. And like I was so close. And there was like this crack in the rock, and I squeezed my fingers in, like to hang. And I was really, I think I was like seeing myself falling down this cliff, and the only thing, like I mashed my fingers in, like bunched up and like crumbled up, and that was like my hook to save me. I mean, it was fine, but it was very nerve-wracking, and that was like from there I was very careful, much more careful.
Yeah.
And on the way down, where we were like hiking down, it even started to snow like crazy. So we had like this thick snow on the smooth rock. So you could not walk on the rock at all. So we only it took ages to get down. Like we walked on that whole day, I think like 40 kilometers or something like that, up the hill and then down the hill with like 25 kilograms of camera equipment on the back.
How much?
25, like 28 almost. But I mean, there, I never thought I could do it, but I just did it because I had to get back to camp. There was no other option. I mean, I arrived like completely in the dark, and like it was already getting cold and windy, but I still made it back. And
mind over matter.
Yes, that was really like that.
Crazy.
It was like tumbling to the camp. It was, I mean, still felt great to lie in a sleeping bag.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
That one did work, the sleeping bag. Tent was fucked with the sleeping bag. -18.
Yeah, the sleeping bag was enough. The next days were perfect then, was sleeping. Just they made one mistake in the first night and it was...
Yeah, I mean, fatal mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I have a video where you can hear the sound and everything, and my moaning that I have to go get out of the tent now. It was...
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have the video?
Yeah.
I wanna hear it.
Yeah, we should.
Crazy.
Yeah. But overall, like, Greenland is really, really beautiful. The icebergs and the sunset, like, when the sun is setting, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, is that a place where you can just go, or do you need like
Yeah.
again like I don't know, go through some agency or whatever?
No, there we just went by ourselves. We booked flights and just we just booked the flights and just like went there freestyle and met people who would bring us to places. I mean, as I said, they have like tourism there, so they have different trips. They have like nighttime iceberg trips. They have all different things.
So you prefer the cold to the heat?
Yeah. Depends. I mean, I like to switch up sometimes.